Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about dogs. Yeah, dogs, man's best friend. But not just any dog stuff, we're going deep into the mysterious stuff. You think you know your pup, right? You see them wag their tail, you hear them bark at the mailman, but there's a whole other world they experience that we don't. Let's talk about 21 mysterious things your dog can see and hear that you totally can't. Alright, first up, let's talk ultraviolet light. Dogs can see ultraviolet light, which is like a whole secret world of colors we're totally missing out on. Think about it. Your dog walks into a room, and they're probably seeing things we can't even imagine. Maybe that's why they sniff around so much. They're picking up on all sorts of UV scents and markings that we're completely clueless about. It's like they have a superpower, right? And we're just walking around oblivious. Okay, so we've established that dogs have supervision, right? But it gets even crazier. Not only can they see ultraviolet light, but they can also see infrared light. Infrared is all about heat, which means dogs can literally see heat signatures. It's no wonder they can see so well in the dark. They're practically walking around with thermal imaging. This next one is seriously mind-blowing. Dogs can sense magnetic fields. They have this crazy ability to detect changes in the magnetic field, which scientists think might be how they can predict earthquakes and other natural disasters. There are all these stories about dogs acting really weird right before an earthquake hits, like they'll start barking uncontrollably or trying to get out of the house, and then, boom, earthquake. It's like they have a sixth sense or something. Maybe they're picking up on these subtle changes in the magnetic field that we're totally unaware of. All right, so we've covered sight, but what about sound? Dogs' hearing is on a whole other level too. They can hear subsonic sounds, which are basically sounds that are too low for our human ears to pick up. No wonder they sometimes freak out for seemingly no reason. They're probably hearing something we can't even perceive. Not only can dogs hear those super low sounds, but they can also hear super high sounds. We're talking ultrasonic sounds here, the stuff that's way too high-pitched for us to hear. This is how dog whistles work. They emit a sound that's basically invisible to our ears, but dogs hear it loud and clear. Dogs are basically acoustic superheroes. You know how dogs can always tell when you're feeling down? It's not just because you're giving off sad vibes, they can literally sense your emotions. Scientists believe that dogs can read our facial expressions, body language, and even our scent to figure out how we're feeling. It's both amazing and kind of unsettling, right? It's like they have a direct line to our feelings, even if we're trying to hide them. Not only can dogs sense our emotions, but they can also sense the emotions of other animals. This is why they can often tell when another dog is being aggressive or when a cat just wants to be left alone. It's like they have this innate ability to understand the emotional language of the animal kingdom. They're like the animal whisperers, bridging the communication gap between species. It's like a secret society of furry friends, communicating on a level we can only dream of. Have you ever noticed how your dog sometimes seems to remember things from the past? Like, they'll get super excited when you pull out their old leash, or they'll act scared when they go to the vet's office. It's like they have these vivid memories of past experiences, even if it's been years. It makes you wonder, what else do they remember? What kind of crazy adventures have they had that we'll never know about? Some people believe that dogs can actually see into the future. There are all these stories about dogs acting strangely right before something major happens, like an earthquake or even a death in the family. It's like they have this sixth sense, this premonition of things to come. Maybe they're picking up on subtle energy shifts or vibrations that we're completely unaware of. Whatever it is, it's pretty freaky, right? It makes you wonder, do our dogs know something we don't? Have you ever noticed how dogs sometimes bark at nothing or act scared in certain places? Some people believe that's because they can see ghosts. Think about it. Dog senses are so much more acute than ours. It's possible that they're picking up on energies and presences that we're completely oblivious to. It's enough to send shivers down your spine, right? Have you ever seen your dog freaking out at the sky? Like they're seeing something we can't? Some people believe that dogs can actually see aliens. I know, it sounds far-fetched. But think about it. What if there are things up there that we can't perceive with our limited human senses? Maybe dogs, with their heightened senses, are able to detect these extraterrestrial visitors. It's a wild thought, right? Maybe our dogs are the key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe. Have you ever noticed how dogs seem to pick up on the energy of a place? Like they'll be super chill in a peaceful park, but act anxious in a crowded mall. Some people believe that dogs can sense spiritual energy, both good and bad. It's like they have this innate ability to read the vibe of a place, kind of like a furry little empath. Have you ever felt like your dog could read your mind? Like you'll be thinking about going for a walk, and suddenly your dog's at the door, tail wagging like crazy. Some people believe that dogs are actually telepathic, that they can communicate with us through thought alone. Maybe they really can tap into our thoughts and feelings, creating this incredible connection that we're only just beginning to understand. Have you ever heard stories about dogs sensing when their owners are in trouble, even if they're miles away? Some people believe that dogs are clairvoyant, meaning they can see things happening in other places. It's like they have this psychic connection with their loved ones, allowing them to know when something's wrong. It's both heartwarming and a little spooky, right? It shows just how deep that bond between a dog and its human can go. Have you ever heard stories about dogs predicting earthquakes or other disasters before they happen? Some people believe that dogs have precognitive abilities, meaning they can see into the future. Maybe they're picking up on subtle environmental cues or energy shifts that we're completely oblivious to. It's a wild thought, right? It's like they have a glimpse into the future and they're trying to warn us about what's to come. We all know that dogs are incredibly loving and compassionate creatures. Studies have shown that dogs can sense when their humans are feeling sad or distressed, and they'll often try to comfort them by cuddling up close or licking away their tears. It's one of the most beautiful things about dogs, and it's a testament to the incredible bond we share with them. Have you ever noticed how dogs often seem to just know things? Like, they'll bark at a stranger who later turns out to be trouble, or they'll refuse to go down a certain street for no apparent reason. Some people believe that dogs have a highly developed intuition, that they can sense danger or bad vibes even if there's no logical explanation for it. Maybe we should all try to be a little more like our dogs and listen to our intuition a little more often. Have you ever noticed how being around your furry friend can instantly lift your mood and make you feel better? Well, it turns out that dogs don't just make us feel good emotionally, they can actually have a positive impact on our physical health too. Studies have shown that spending time with dogs can lower blood pressure, reduce stress hormones, and even boost our immune systems. It's no wonder that dogs are increasingly being used in hospitals and therapy settings to help people cope with illness and injury. We all know that dogs are incredibly loyal creatures and they'll do anything to protect their loved ones. But did you know that their protective instincts go way beyond just barking at strangers? Dogs have an incredible ability to sense danger and react accordingly. They can pick up on subtle cues that we might miss, like changes in body language or tone of voice. And when they sense that something's wrong, they're not afraid to step in and defend their pack. They're not just pets, they're our protectors, our guardians, our furry little superheroes. We all know that dogs love us unconditionally. It doesn't matter if we're rich or poor, happy or sad, successful or struggling. Our dogs love us just the way we are, flaws and all. And that kind of unconditional love is incredibly powerful. Dogs teach us so much about love and compassion, and they remind us that sometimes the purest form of love comes from the four-legged creatures who greet us with wagging tails and wet kisses, no matter what. Let's wrap things up with a little reminder of why dogs are truly man's best friend. It's not just because they're cute and cuddly, although that definitely helps. It's because they offer us something that's increasingly rare in today's world: true, unconditional friendship. They're always there for us, through thick and thin, offering us a listening ear, a wet nose to boop, and a warm body to cuddle up to. In a world that can often feel cold and lonely, dogs remind us of the simple joys in life: love, laughter, and the unwavering bond of friendship. Whoa, guys, that was a wild ride, right? From seeing ghosts to predicting earthquakes, dogs are basically superheroes in disguise. It makes you look at your furry friend a little differently, doesn't it? If you learned something new today, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more awesome content. And don't forget to tell me in the comments what you think your dog is secretly capable of. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next video.